Hey, this is Mike. Just coming in to tell you that last week Ethan and I started to discuss the fabulous or possibly fantastic funnies, and we couldn't stop talking, so we split this up into two episodes. So join us now for the conclusion of our talk about the fantastic funnies.
And the
I
girlfriend is named Ula, and that's so both Alley-oop and Ula get their names from French exclamations, because that comes from ooh la la.
mm, well, yeah, well, I guess it's acceptable
Why
since
didn't they? Why didn't they push that? Why aren't there characters with names like Sacre Bleu and Espèce de Vache?
or ho ho ho.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably because the creator of this comic strip was French. Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
he wasn't. V.T.
No.
Hamlin, American. So there's no excuse for this sort of shit. Um, okay, so there's a girlfriend. There's Wiser. There's this king and queen. They're all like you said. They're all drawn Popeye style, so they all have the giant inflated forearms and
Yeah,
shins.
they all look like they're made out of hams.
Yeah.
And
The men especially have like very weird heads. Very
yeah,
weird.
Alley-oop himself looks like he was carved. He has a beard, but it looks like it was sort of chiseled out of his chin.
Yeah. I every time they have a close up, I just keep thinking like, is he like racist? Is this a racist caricature of some race that I don't recognize? Because it just feels kind of there's a little. I don't know how to describe it. There's nothing like overtly gollywoggish happening, but it feels kind of
Yeah.
gollywoggish, you know.
He has that same kind of thing that Mickey Mouse has, where the whole back of his head is solid black, and then just his face is completely framed by the black.
Yeah. This
So he
probably
kind of looks like an organic space ghost.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like maybe this looked really good in like I don't know, like early black and white newsprint or something because it was striking. I guess it looks weird, especially like, and they all do have the little loincloths which look very much like BC. Um,
Yeah, everyone actually looks a lot like the goons from Popeye.
yeah, again Popeye. So
Popeye.
real Popeye hours here. But I God, it's so we saw two Alley-oop cartoons, I guess, in this.
The first one was about okay. So we watched two cartoons which had a theme. The first one was about ecological concerns, and the second was about art. So, and the ecological aspect of the alley oop cartoon was really kind of, I mean, not wrong, but they were really struggling to fit it into alley oop. The idea was that we have this caveman whose name is Uggo, who is riding around hunting in his pterodactyl powered motorcycle, and of all things, Alley-oop is concerned that he's going to kill the vegetation, and then they're going to have landslides.
Yeah, he is because the car is gonna like leave skid marks, I guess, and
Yeah,
we'll have
it seems
erosion.
like such a minor thing, like somebody complaining that he was. It sounds like they were like, well, what are your ecological concerns? And someone was like, I'll tell you what, I went to Yosemite for a photo safari, and there were tire tracks everywhere. You should do something about tire tracks.
Yeah, it's funny because when the guy first arrives, like he's hunting dinosaurs, and Alley-oop is like, dinosaurs are getting kind of scarce, pal. Because he talks like a Brooklyn Teamster, and
Yeah, he does.
the guy is all like, "Yeah, what? They're gonna go extinct in 100 million years? Fuck off!" And Alley-oop like immediately basically folds on this issue, and
It's like,
it
what
pivots
was I
to
thinking? Dinosaurs could never go extinct.
yeah. It's like he immediately pivots
You
to this
win this
erosion
round,
thing.
Uggo.
Yeah. I thought, the fact that he like immediately pivots to the erosion thing makes me feel like he's looking for a reason. He's just a NIMBY looking for a reason to like get this guy out of the neighborhood. He's just like, I don't like I don't like these motorcycle riding types. Because then he goes to the king. King whatever the guy's name is,
King Guzzle.
King Guzzle,
Yes.
and Queen Umpatina, and they're basically like the honeymoon, not the honeymoon, yeah, like the
Yeah.
honeymooners. I was gonna say
Yeah,
the
this
Lockhorns, but
the humor in this show is entirely one-liners. Here, let me I actually wrote some of them down because I wanted to remember how bad they were.
let's hear
There's
him.
there's a shot here where King Guzzle says, "Woman, you got enough mouth for another row of teeth."
Ah,
And
yeah.
then he says, "I was keeping track of your age, one toe for each year. Then my centipede died."
See, that one's a little too belabored. The one about the teeth
Yeah.
is that one's okay. I'm like, oh, okay, that's all right. This one with the centipede is like you really too much setup for not enough punchline. Um,
I it really makes me want to do a supercut of no context fabulous funnies and just start with then my centipede died.
yeah, there's a lot of these one-liners, but since it's the '70s, there's also a laugh track. So
Yes.
if you didn't know that these are supposed to be funny, good news. The show will tell you.
Yes, which is very funny. What is really funny is that there's actually a one-liner that seems like it's addressed at the show itself, which
Oh,
is when Broomhilda tells Gaylord, "Did anyone ever tell you how funny you were?" "Why, no." "Then where'd you get the idea?"
yeah, um, that's pretty good. There's some good ones, but the thing is, because of the structure of the show, the fact that it is all one-liners, and we get this like canned laugh track prompting us to laugh, and it feels. The thing is, the show, because again, it's aping kind of a '40s variety show. It feels so ancient and stilted. It feels like
Yeah.
even if these were all original jokes written by the writers of the show for the show, it feels like they actually just stole them from an old like Borscht Belt like comedy routine.
Yeah, it's almost it is almost as disconcerting as I'm sure it was for early kaiju fans to watch Godzilla movies and be like, hey, their mouths aren't moving at the same time as they talk.
Yeah, it's it's a bit it's not it does not work very well.
No, I'd
Um,
like to get him a job on a fishing boat as bait. It's like,
yeah,
okay, out of context, that's funny, but it doesn't make sense when you just left someone in the dust and you're addressing the camera to say, "I'd like to get them a job on a fishing boat." Like, what? Why? That doesn't make any sense. That only works if you're setting up a joke.
yeah, exactly. And I think that is we've discussed this before. These like where comedy it doesn't it's not as
If it
funny.
doesn't feel improvised, it's not as funny. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
it's kind of the canned hunt joke, as I say.
yeah,
Where the example I always give is that there's a scene in one of the Ace Ventura movies where he's introduced to this snooty rich guy, and he says, "Ah, you must be the Monopoly guy." Which, I mean, it's not a joke because he actually does look like the Monopoly guy. They made him up to look like the Monopoly guy.
yeah. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like in Monty Python, the meaning, not the Holy Grail, when they're like, "Oh, you look like a witch." It's like, well, they dress me like this.
Yeah,
It's not funny when you set it up that way because you put your fingers on the scale. A comedy
yeah,
should be invisible because, of course, most of it. 99% of the comedy that you see is scripted and written ahead of time, but it needs to feel organic and
yes.
improvised. That's
Maybe
why.
we're just spoiled by Mystery Science Theater.
Well, I think it's a reality of life. I mean, in general. And here's the thing. I'll give you an example. Like when I was when I used to be a tour guide, right?
Right.
I took people to the
Lifetime
house.
ago now.
Lifetime ago, yes. And another time when I wore younger man's clothes. I was a tour guide at a house, historical house. Was doing we're walking, and this, that whole bit, right? And people would ask me questions about stuff in the house. And I knew everything about the house. I knew it instantly. I knew it, right? Nobody ever came up with a question that was a stumper. But like they would ask me some like incredibly obvious question. I'd be like, okay, let me think, and then I would, mention it, right? And very often I'd actually have a little joke or bit there that I'd stick on,
Yeah.
right? But like I'd have to be like, oh, yeah, and throw in a lot of those, so people were like, oh, this guy is fumbling around. He clearly, but he thought of that. That's pretty clever. But if they knew I had this all in my pocket, it would be like, this guy sucks. These jokes are
Mm.
awful. The fact that they thought I was coming up with them on the fly was what made them work, because then they're
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, we'll cut you a little bit of slack because you just came up with that, and that ain't easy. But anyway, but yeah, that's how comedy should be. That's why improv comedy, even though it's never good, it still can be funny, because you're like, oh, it's impressive, you just came up with that. But stand-up comedy where it's written ahead of time, that just sucks. It just sucks. Anyway, so yeah, all this comedy feels, it feels very scripted, which it is, but it shouldn't feel that way. Um, so yeah, we got the alley oop thing was about. We got a bunch of
It
one-liners.
was about. I guess it was about erosion,
Erosion,
but
yeah. Which
yeah.
again, not really an environmental concern that I feel like would really, speak to children. Um,
No. But then
especially
again, we weren't there in 1978. Maybe there was something. Maybe it was the 1978 equivalent of the ozone hole.
maybe. Though it's funny because at the end, erosion isn't even the thing that happens, because they basically, that the bad caveman runs into a cave to escape like rain, I think. And
Yeah.
Alley Oop is like, no, because the mudslides will get you in there. And he's like, fuck you. And he does it anyway. And then a bunch of rocks fall in front of the cave. And it's like, that's not actually the thing that you were warning
That's
him
not a
about.
mudslide. That's an avalanche. I mean, if you wanted there to be concerned about a mudslide, you should have shown mud
Yeah.
falling, not rocks.
I feel like it's like, is this guy supposed to learn from this? Because if I were that guy, I'd just be like, yeah, you kept talking about mudslides. That was an avalanche. This is unrelated to me riding my motorcycle around. So fuck you.
Yeah. And
Um,
besides, he wasn't even riding his motorcycle around on top of that cave in the first place.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't feel like this really taught me anything about not. Well, I guess maybe I don't in general do a lot of off road motorcycling, so I guess I don't cause a lot of erosion in that sense. So I can't say that
Yeah.
this would have ever modified my behavior, even if it was done well.
Again, it must have been some kind of 70s thing. I wonder if there was an alley oop thing that was about like talking on a CB radio or something.
Oh yeah, that would be the case. Um, okay, so that's alley oop, and then we get the captain and the kids.
Yeah, the captain of the kids is, the lesson that the kids have to impart is about maintaining ecological diversity, because they say if you catch all the little fish, there won't be any big fish.
Yes. And I guess
So
overfishing is something kids can understand. This one is a little
yeah,
more. Um, but boy, if you're not familiar with the captain and the kids, this is kind of like, what is going on here? Who are
this
these
is
people?
bonkers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like there's a bunch of like kind of weird Germans who seem to be living on a tropical island, and
yeah. I
um,
had no idea living on an island.
yeah, and it's like one is called the captain and one is called the inspector, and then there are these children who like they want to go fishing, and I guess they're just like, we'll get all the fish, wahaha, and then
It's not the kids who want to go fishing; it's the
the
adults.
adults, but then the kids realize that will cause a food chain collapse, so they dress up like a big scary fish and scare them out of overfishing. And
They say, "I am the fish demon" or something, and I'm just imagining a parent shrieking over hearing the word demon Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, the 70s were a different time, you know.
It sure was, yeah.
This was pre-Satanic Panic, so it was still the official position of the church that demons weren't real at that point. Um,
Well, what made them change their mind? Did they meet a
uh,
demon?
well, you know, they needed a bad guy to get people to, you know, buy more communion wafers. They had to pump up those numbers. Not enough people were
I'm
getting.
eating as many as I can.
You
Oh,
know, they're delicious.
feels like I've eaten half of Jesus.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't know if you've ever taken communion, Ethan.
Nope.
I was going to say, you don't strike me as the communion taking sort. So, but let me tell you, as a
I read a little bit of the book Communion.
oh, you know what? That is, I can think of one thing wrong with that title.
It's not about aliens taking communion.
No, I was like, well, that makes sense because, as you know, aliens are not real. They're just demonic manifestations of Lucifer in order to trick you into following New Age beliefs instead of the one true Church of Rome. Okay, so, but yeah, it would be way better if that book was about aliens just like, taking the sacrament and being like filled with the light of Jesus. That would basically be what the movie First Contact was about, if you think about it. Because do you remember that movie First Contact? I think
Not Star Trek First Contact?
Oh, am I thinking? Maybe it was just Contact. It was the one.
Oh, Contact.
Contact.
Oh, the one where the alien was her dad.
Yeah, that one where it's like this big, long, like really thinky movie, and the question it wants you to ponder is like, what if the first human to ever meet aliens was an atheist? And it's like, yeah, okay, who cares? I literally.
Why? I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
it never occurred to me.
I know.
that
It's like
one would be an atheist.
It's like you're really reaching here for like something to ponder, because it's like I really don't think that is anywhere near my list of like requirements for like the first human to meet like an alien. It was like, what if they didn't believe in God? It's like, okay, are we like Pascal's wagering this thing? Because I mean, like, again, how are you going to pick there's a lot of religions, which one are you going to pick to be the first one to meet God? I mean, not God, sorry, aliens. I don't know. Anyway.
See? But anyway. Yeah, I really don't feel like this was what Carl Sagan was thinking of when he wrote it.
No. But, they wanted to make it palatable for the masses. Anyway, communion. Like I said, you're not a communion-taking sort of guy. That's fine, That's fine. Don't worry about it, I know you were so worried. You're all like, oh, shit, I need the 7 sacraments fast for my eternal soul. It's all right. Of the sacraments, I've only done 1, 2. I've done 3. Done 3 of them.
What are they?
Well, the weird thing about the 7 sacraments, they're all like, there's 7 sacraments. You got to do all 7 to get into heaven, right? 7
Never heard of them.
All right. Well, you got to be baptized, right?
Okay.
You done that?
Okay. No.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's the communion. Okay. I know you haven't done that one. Okay. Then there's confirmation.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Okay. And then I love that you were confirmed, but you didn't do the other 2. Which church?
The one on Shaw.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Oh, Shaw. That's right. Of course. Then there's marriage, right?
Oh, nope, haven't done that.
Okay. There's priesthood.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. Now that's the one that I've always thought it's a little weird that they're like, you got to do all 7. Wait, marriage and priesthood?
Wait.
How does that work? I think there's some leeway.
You have to leave your wife for the church, apparently.
I mean, they probably want that. I think you have to. I think they say you do one or the other. You don't have to do both. I think you're fine.
Oh, okay.
And then there's last rites.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
Okay. So, wait a second. That's 6.
Yeah.
Wait. There's got to be another one, right? As a good Catholic, I would know the answer to this. And the 7th sacrament, you know what? I'm just going to say I'm really glad that everyone's listening today, because you're learning so much. You're learning so much today. This is
learned all about alley-oop, and now there's this.
Yeah, this is okay. Look, this is the Catholic. We're learning about the Catholic Church. tonight. Okay, so the seven
I think you left
sacraments.
out confession.
Oh, confession. You're right. That's the one I forgot. You also have to go to confession. Confess your sins. I guess you only have to do it once. I was, hmm.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they make you do it all the time when you go to church. Yeah, like all the
Oh,
time. Um,
and don't forget, you also have to do anointing of the sick.
oh, God. Oof, oof. Yeah, well, the
Oh wait,
sick.
actually, that's the same thing as last rites. Never mind.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you mean I get anointed? Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. As long as I don't have to
You
anoint
don't
him.
have to, you don't have to give a dying person a rub down
I was like,
massage
oh,
to get into
gross,
heaven.
gross. Oh, get that away
That
from
that
me.
that requires. It would kind of suck if you had to watch someone else die to get into heaven. That sounds like it's making some. Somebody's going to put two and two together and be like, "Wait a minute."
Boy, yeah, yeah. They don't make you do that. So instead, you just do these other seven things. Anyway, but the whole point about this diversion here is, I when I did the communion wafer, not a lot of flavor, not a lot of flavor. It's
They
disappointing,
don't want
actually.
people snacking on them, I guess.
No, no. I mean, it is genuinely disappointing how flavorless those things are. I'm just like, really? That's it? This is the body of Christ? Man, disappointing. I do remember being very
I mean, it
fond.
does suggest that maybe somebody tasted him.
Oh yeah, and they were
Maybe
like,
there's like, yeah, this is what he was like.
this is what it's like. It was like, it's it's no big whoop.
Someone got a little too flirty at the Last Supper and got his thumb in their mouth, and we're like,
I mean, I guess yeah, it's there's not a lot there. Look, there's not a lot of flavors in it, so I'm just saying is if you're going to church and you're going to do communion, do it because you want to be part of the body of the church or something. You want to be closer to God or something like that. Don't do it for the flavor because it's really not worth it. You might as well just go to the store and get some Ritz.
yeah.
The wine though, I remember, was pretty good. The wine is pretty good. They can't suck the flavor out of that. That stuff was good. And it's like really exciting when you're like 8 years old. You're like, I'm gonna drink the wine like a big boy. I'm gonna drink the Jesus juice. And yeah. Anyway,
Well,
Catholic Church.
I've always been a fan of, you know, eat this bread for it is my body. Drink this wine for it is my blood. Touch this spaghetti for it is my hair. Feel these peeled grapes for they are my eyeballs.
Well, you know what they say when you know get in line in that processional, step into that small confessional. They're the guy who's got religion will tell you if your sin's original. If it is, try playing it safer. Drink the wine and chew the wafer. 2, 4, 6, 8. Time to transubstantiate. If you I don't remember the rest. Doing the Vatican so dramatic and doing the Vatican rag. That's pretty good, actually, considering I can
Yeah.
remember any of that.
R.I.P. Tom Lehrer.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Pouring some out for the last, the real ones.
Yep. Pouring out some Jesus blood for him.
Yeah.
But
But anyway, Fabulous Funnies, the show that we are strenuously
ostensibly
trying to avoid.
talking about, yeah.
Okay, so we have managed to get through the
I knew
first
this was going to
segment.
be. I knew this was going to be a 2-hour one.
Well, we got through the first segment about Mr. Oop.
Yeah.
Mr. Oop and his girlfriend.
Mr. Oop,
Yes.
but no Mr. I in this
Nope.
one.
Nope. Let's see. Then the Captain and the kids with the
Captain
fishes.
and the Kids. Yep.
And then we get Broomhilda with the most
Yep.
traditionally familiar environmental narrative in kids' literature, which is the river is polluted. Someone's
It's almost literally the Lorax.
yes. It's very much like who's been pumping pollution in our river? It's that gross factory. Yeah, it's the Lorax.
Now, the thing is, because Broomhilda is a witch, she jumps into the polluted river, and I thought she was just doing that because she was a witch.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
she
she's
was
all
like
like, and then she's like, we used to have a beautiful clear blue river. What happened?
Yeah. So the thing is with Broomhilda, I really hate all the voices in this. I I do not like their take on Irvin, and I do not like their take on Gaylord. Broomhilda herself is okay, but it's June Foray doing the June Foray voice.
Yes, she's fine. That's a perfect voice for Broomhilda. But you know, but what about Grelber? I was not expecting that voice for Grelber.
Yeah, like so Grover, first of all, I don't think he's in the comic. Is he? Have
Yeah,
I?
he is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Grelber is, if you haven't read the Broomhilda comic, Broomhilda is a witch who lives in an enchanted forest with a hedgehog like troll named Erwin, a buzzard whose name is hilariously Gaylord, and a and there is also a creature whose face is never seen hiding in a hollow log named Grelber, who just dispenses insults for the most part.
Mm. I used to read Broomhilda fairly religiously as a kid. I do not remember ever seeing Grelber.
No, me neither. I mean, he must be a thing, obviously, since he's in this. But
Yeah.
no, I have no idea. But
Um, yeah, I always kind of assumed that like the thing about Broomhilda is that she feels kind of Halloween themed because she is a witch, but then specifically that there's a troll and like a vulture. It just feels like, you know, this is a
she's much more of a Hansel and Gretel style witch. It's
mm,
not that Halloweeny.
yeah.
She's
Well,
more Dungeons and Dragons than Ghosts and Goblins.
yeah, the vulture is what throws me off. They feel kind of like witchy poo kind of HR Puffin stuff sort of
Yeah,
villains.
especially because she has a weird little puff on the end of her hat. That
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
there's something very, I don't know, that there's something very 70s about that. But also we have, and oh, this is interesting. I'm looking at the Broomhilda Wikipedia page, and there was going to be a Broadway musical based on Broomhilda, and they were trying to get Catherine Zeta-Jones for the title role.
Wow. Uh. Well. Um.
Broomhilda?
Catherine
Catherine
Zeta.
Zeta-Jones?
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Can you imagine just being like, Catherine Zeta-Jones, your agent comes to you like, guess what? They want you for the role of Broomhilda in the role of Broomhilda. It's like,
Okay, how old was she that year? It was 19, she was born in 1969, so she was, what, 35? And they're like, yep, you hit 35, it's time for the witch roles.
uh, Hollywood does not treat women well.
No.
That's terrible. God. Okay.
I,
Well,
I was thinking, at first I was like, Catherine Zeta Jones. Oh, that's a great idea. And then I was like, wait, no, I'm thinking of Catherine O'Hara. She would have been incredible.
She would be very good in Broomhilda.
Yeah.
So as Broomhilda's kind of her defining trait is she's a horny old woman. Like
Yes.
she's like
and they don't take that away from her in this, thankfully.
no. Like she really feels like is if you watch an anime and there's an old man who steals panties like that's Broomhilda basically, except
Yeah.
like the femme version, which is kind of it's refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air. And yeah, they do make her very horny in the cartoon, which is nice.
Yeah.
She's
She actually says, bring on the sailors!
she is so hungry for the D. Like,
Yeah.
she also like loves to drink and smoke in this, which is great. She's great. She loves all the vices. I don't like when the
Yeah.
cartoon tries to like teach us not to do these things. You know?
Yeah, she does say, I wish I could quit the smoking habit after carving a 20-foot statue of a cigar.
Yeah. I do think it's funny.
Which, again, hunger for the D.
Yeah. In another episode,
Sometimes
I
a cigar
know,
is just a cigar.
sometimes there's another episode that we watched. I remember where Broomhilda was like learned that drinking is bad because she was a there was an episode that acknowledged she's like got severe alcoholism. Like like debilitating alcohol issues. So she has to quit. But I don't think there's ever an episode where they're just like, Broomhilda, you need to stop fucking so much. Broomhilda has every STD known to man. They're like, she's got Three Stooges syndrome with STDs.
He's like, what are you talking about? I don't sleep around that much. And then they like pass by the orphanage and it's full of green kids waving to her.
That would actually, what's funny about that is that it is such a it would fit so well into the Fabulous Funnies if they had the guts.
Then it would be truly fabulous.
Yes, yes. Now, so Broomhilda, her. Okay, so I don't know, like Irwin's voice and Gaylord's voice. I have heard those voices in so much stuff. Like this is kind of like, I don't know how you would describe these voices. Gaylord.
Well, there are only 5 voice actors in this whole show.
Yeah. Irwin sounds like oh God, what is he? I think heard him in a lot of Filmation things. This is that Alan Oppenheimer. It's kind
It
of
might be, yeah. It might also be Bob Holt.
okay. Well, they're doing like kind of a whiny nerd voice, which I have heard
Yes.
in other Filmation, that voice. And the Gaylord voice sounds like they're trying to do a really bad kind of Peter Ustinov impression.
Both Gaylord and Irwin are Alan Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And then Grelmore sounds like he's supposed to be like Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, he's got he has a kind of a sleazy voice, kind of sleazy, kind of smarmy.
Yeah, yeah. It's he's kind of a character like if you ever watch, oh God, I can't think of any. In Sherman's Lagoon, the Kahuna,
Yeah.
he's kind of like that. Or I think like I feel like Croc also has a character that's just like a big, like Nebuchadnezzar, a big stone statue that people go to for advice.
Right.
So, which now that I think about it, like I feel like because that's in Croc, that's incredibly probably Islamophobic. But
Yes.
I feel like Grelbor is kind of this sort of character where they go to him for advice, but he mostly just kind of like insults them. Except I don't know why they go to him for advice. He doesn't seem to be like a seer or a sage or a monolith or anything. He's just a guy on a log.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's just a guy stuck in a log who's just, they ask him for advice and he insults them instead, but they somehow get an idea for otherwise. Anyway.
Yeah. So Broomhilda realizes, I think, from talking to Grelber that she's got to go upriver to find the source of the pollution. And she finds out because she leaves, and then she says that she wants to give him a job on a fishing boat as bait. And it's like,
yeah,
oh, yeah, okay.
Clever.
Yeah, all right. She goes upriver and finds the factory, the evil factory, where it's a factory called Dolly's Doily Boutique.
Yeah, okay. Dolly's Doily Boutique?
Yes.
But they don't seem to make doilies, or at least that doesn't seem to be the thing that they're actually polluting the river to make.
No.
What they make is toupees.
So they do not make doilies, and also they don't sell them, they just make them, so it's not really a boutique. This does not make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, they make toupees specifically for bald eagles.
I thought this was going to lead up to like Gaylord wanting one, but no.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I guess they thought that was a really good joke, though. They really thought they had something there with toupees for bald eagles, because the guy who runs the factory is a anthropomorphic bald eagle wearing a toupee named Dolly.
Yes. Why is he named Dolly? We don't care.
No. But Broomhilda has a plan to stop this pollution. Okay.
Think, pause for a second and try to think, okay, how is Broomhilda going to stop this guy from, polluting the river with his with his toupee factory. Think about it for a few seconds. What would a witch do to stop a bald eagle from being the onceler? No, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're wrong.
No, no, Ethan. No, you're right. They're wrong. Everyone is wrong. There's no way in hell.
I could never have predicted the way this story was going to go.
Now, the only way that this makes sense to me is I assume that in 1978, the television show This Is Your Life must have been a phenomenon, or possibly the people who made this, who were old, remembered it and thought it was a phenomenon. That's all I can.
I mean, I never saw This Is Your Life. I remember Here Is Your Life with Guy Smiley, but
yes,
which is that. 45 years old now. So yeah, I mean, I'm old and I don't remember this.
Yeah, I know people referencing it, but I've never seen this thing at all. I guess it was where they bring people in and be like, "Here's some people you knew from your life."
Yeah,
it's like that would actually be a very weird experience. Now that I think about it.
Well, one thing I know about it is that it was like one of the very last television appearances together of Laurel and Hardy. They booked them for what they said was going to be a talk show, and then surprised them by revealing it was an episode of This Is Your Life, and they brought in a whole bunch of people that they had worked with, and apparently it was like a really good episode.
Oh,
as Here Is Your Life goes.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, it's nice if it goes well. It's just a weird idea if you think about it. It's so Broomhilda does a spell that what does she do? She makes a clone of Dolly's mother?
Yeah, she says, "I brought your mother back through time." And not only his mother, she brought him as a child and also him as an egg.
So she brought him from multiple points in time back.
Yes. It's like, you have him as an egg. You can solve your problem. Omelets.
Yeah, she's really like, she's really messing with the timeline here.
Yeah.
This is real Sound of Thunder type shit. But it's funny because she has Dolly's mother like in a cage, a bird cage.
Yeah, why is she in a cage?
It's funny that Dolly's mother is just a regular eagle, not like anthropomorphic like Dolly is. So I assume his father was a human or something.
Well, also we see that Dolly, as a hatchling, was a regular eagle too. So I can only assume that he's been successful enough to get the surgery and become anthropomorphic.
Maybe it's like it's like the end of Animal Farm, where now they so you look at it, I can't tell which was the human, which was the eagle. But this works actually. This surprisingly works. They. Seeing his mother and his younger self causes Dolly to have a change of heart, and he is going to clean up his act and not pollute.
Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel.
And then Broomhilda is like, "No, I'm going to stop noise pollution," and she puts like Grelber in a big sack. And Grelber's like, "Why I oughta go get along?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's kind of a disappointing ending to after that complete mind fuck of a conflict resolution.
Yeah, that is one of the
one of the weirdest things I've seen on this show, honestly.
Yeah.
Not the Fabulous Funnies, on special presentation.
It you know what it gives me? It gives me big Jim Davis vibes. When we talk about how Jim Davis is so incredibly normal that like he wraps around into being insane and he doesn't even know it. Like he just thinks
yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like it feels like a crazy person made that, but they were like, no, this is a normal thing to happen, right? It's so strange. But anyway, but that is the
If
entirety of our episode about the the ecology, I think, isn't it? Or is that
Yeah,
so? Those three.
yeah.
Um,
And then we get our first example of the credits with the worst credit music ever. Oh my god.
it's like the ending music for Smiling Friends.
Yeah.
It's not it is not pleasant to listen to, but I get it's yet is it more or less pleasant than the opening credits theme song?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, they kind of blend together. They, especially since we went right from the ending credits music to more of the Fabulous Funnies.
Ooh, we're gonna learn a lot about how to work and how to play. Hans and Fritz, the Katzenjammer, say today. Hi, it's me, Foozy, the caveman. I love to give didactic speeches. Ah, God, I hate this guy.
I give didactic speeches whenever I can. The Fabulous Funnies.
Oh, I hate the Fabulous Funnies. Um,
Sorry, Buzz. We appreciate your work, but we know you're a working writer, and sometimes the deadline takes precedence.
yeah, I don't think he wrote for these episodes, though. So we're only insulting his friends and colleagues. this
Yes.
this is what like yeah. Um, as always, it's a collaborative medium. You do what you can, you work as hard as you do. Sometimes they don't hit. I mean, this is, to be perfectly frank, I feel like a lot of this was just like, what are you going to do with this material that they give you alley oop to work? What are you going to do with that? Nothing interesting,
Well, I
that's for
mean,
sure.
the current rendition of Alley Oop is actually written by a very well-known comic artist. So,
What do they keep doing that for? They keep giving like web cartoon people like
legacy strips,
yeah,
yeah.
what's up with that? What do they think that they're like good and funny or something just because they have a track record on the internet? They probably is a good idea actually. So who did they give
Yeah.
it to?
Joey Allison Sayers.
Who's that? I don't know the name.
Let me see if I can. I forget what their.
If they did a comic that's come out in the last 20 years, I haven't heard of it, so I don't know why I'm saying. Because like my familiarity with web comics ends in like 1999. It ends when Sinfest was still legible.
Uh, gee, I don't think her comic has a name.
Oh, that's
I
weird.
think it's called Jay Sayers.
Oh, okay. Um, that is I do not know that one.
It's actually called Joey Allison Sayers Comics.
Okay. All right.
Oh, looks like also did stuff for the Nib, but everyone used to do stuff for the Nib.
Oh
R.I.P. the
yeah.
Nib.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure she does good work.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I mean, it
I've seen
sounds
stuff I like,
yeah. Um,
but she doesn't draw alley oop. There's another artist.
oh,
So
okay. All right. Well, hopefully she's doing something interesting with the strip.
yeah.
I wouldn't know because I am stupid and don't read.
Maybe you'll be lucky and they'll hire you to do the I don't know the Katzenjammer Kids
They
next.
should. They should totally hire me for that because, like, who would be really bad at this? Hire me. Hire me. Why not?
Yeah, I mean you did grow up in Germany with the original Max and Moritz, so you
That's
have
right.
well, you didn't grow up in Germany, you know what I mean.
I
You're
mean,
familiar with it.
I spent time there.
Yeah.
Okay. But we were speaking of the second episode. The second episode. This is where we learn
The second episode about art.
art. That's right.
Yes, it's about art appreciation. Now, I used to watch a TV show that was all about art appreciation every week, and this has nothing on that. But it's nice to have something that's like, maybe poems aren't for sissies. That's actually the moral of one of them.
I mean, I never really like worried about that, but I guess it's a good lesson for kids. I guess.
Yeah.
I suppose. Didn't really think
Yeah,
that.
it's really important that Alley-oop write a birthday poem for his girlfriend, and he's like, "No, that's sissy stuff. I'm going to do something, manly for her," and she doesn't take to any of it. And then he goes to a sports event where he ends up, you know, he's overwhelmed by the sport he has to do, but everyone cheers for him, and they start doing this rhythmic chant, and it finally puts two and two together that sports chants are just poetry, and that's not for sissies. And
Yeah,
I guess,
I guess. I mean, I guess.
I just think it's really funny how much the word, how different we take the word sissy to mean now. So
Yeah, it's okay. I just think again, this is kind of a I don't know. It's a very 1978 sort of thing. Like
yeah,
it's like,
it's like,
oh
I don't want, if it doesn't have to do with hitting each other, it's girl stuff.
yeah. I just think it's so funny, just the idea of like, oh, I can just this the way this is presented. I can just imagine an episode where Ali was like, "Oh, touching another man's butt is gay." But wait a minute, they're doing that in football. Why, it's not gay at all. It's like, okay, whatever, man. Sorry, I shouldn't say gay. I should not say.
Yeah.
I should not imply that touching a man's butt is inherently gay. It can be. I guess it also can. I don't know. People can do it platonically. I don't know. I should have
Touching
said
a guy's
sissy.
butt, that's sissy stuff.
Thank you, sissy. I should have used to maintain parallel construction. I should have used the same term as alley-oop did, but I did not because I'm dumb.
It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so alley-oop learns that poetry is not for sissies, so he makes a big tablet have hieroglyphs. And writes poetry. This is funny because he's all like, "I'm not going to write sissy poetry. I'm going to do something manly for my girlfriend, like make her some jewelry." It's like, all right.
And the thing he makes for her is that he chips a big piece off of a rock.
Yeah, she doesn't really go for that. She also doesn't go for like him bringing her like a pet. He brings her a stegosaurus.
Yeah, stegosaurus. Yeah, man, the way she says it is, "I don't want my birthday to be an occasion to enslave another animal." It's like, Jesus, did Lisa Simpson write this?
Oh God, Springfield's answered a question no one asked.
Simpsons. But I do like the joke that this ends with, where Ula actually really likes the poem that he ends up writing and says, "Can I have the poem? I'd like to hang it up on my wall." And then when we pan out, revealing that it takes up the entire volcano that she's in, and he says, "Maybe. I write kind of big."
Yeah, he sure does. He's a regular John Hancock. Well, in any case, so that's alley-oop learns the importance of art. And
yes. Then we have a brief Nancy and Sluggo bit, but it's basically Nancy showing Sluggo slides of dancing throughout the ages.
Yeah, and Sluggo is in. It's like he's watching cavemen, and there's a caveman that looks like Sluggo dancing, and then there's like a Regency fop that looks like Sluggo dancing, and the thing is, like, I guess they didn't trust the audience to figure this out because Sluggo has to say, "That guy looks like me" every time. It's like, yeah, thanks, okay. He
says something like, "Look at that ugly caveman," and again, my first thought was, "Sluggo, that's Teddy Roosevelt."
But then, the second time though, he's like, "There's another guy that looks like me," and it's like, you're getting a little on the nose. Like the first time, was like, "Look at that ugly guy." It's like, I get the joke, but like now it's like, okay, man, what is happening? Also, when you say another guy that looks like me, it implies that the first guy looked like you, and yet you called him an ugly guy. So what's up with that? Yeah. I'm sorry, Sluggo. You need a better self-image.
Sluggo, are you okay? Are you drunk? Is Sluggo lit?
Sluggo's always lit. If you were Sluggo, you'd be lit too. Now, also, the recurring thing is that basically every dance gets invented because you get poked in the butt or something.
Wow, we should try that.
Yeah, you invent all kinds of crazy. Actually, I don't know if the dances he's doing, not really, because when he's doing the foxtrot, I don't think he's doing the foxtrot when he gets butt poked. I think he just starts doing that kind of Russian kick dance thing,
They didn't know what the foxtrot looked like. I mean, would you be able to draw someone doing the foxtrot?
I
I
would
mean, that
not.
wasn't actually a trotting fox.
I would not. I don't know. I'm no dancing pumpkin. I don't know what different dances look like.
Yeah, it turns out the foxtrot is the one where those 6 little pumpkins dart back and forth really fast. Hey, 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 hey!
I don't like when they kill the Thunderbelly. All right, so we see that this bit lasts like what, like a minute?
Yeah, it's a very short cartoon. I thought there would be an actual Nancy and Sluggo adventure, but it's more like a bumper.
It's like one of those Garfield quickies that we used to get,
Yeah.
Except shorter,
But
really.
but we don't even get a cabin landing on Wade.
No. They don't. This. Let's just say the Fabulous Funnies doesn't have the pizzazz of Garfield and Friends.
No.
This is for kids who read below their grade level. I'm being ableist. Anyway, what happens after Nancy and Sluggo? There's like another quickie, I think, with the Captain and the Kids.
Yeah, there's another Captain and the Kids quickie, but F me if I can remember what it was.
Yeah, I've already forgotten. I not a fish involved in this one. Something art related. There was art in it, I guess.
Oh, like the captain gets a pie in the face. Oh, that's right. He says he's invented a new musical instrument, and it's just a bass violin. But he says it doesn't work. And then the kids try strumming it, and he's like, "Oh, no wonder I was trying to blow into it."
Yeah, and then a pie hits him in the face, and it's like,
yes, because we were kind of struggling for a joke here, folks.
God, it's like in 1978 that feels so hackneyed. That's so. Oh, I'm sorry. Laugh-In was like 15 years ago at this point. Which even I can't believe that people thought Laugh-In was funny when it was on the air. When it's like, oh, you're gonna say "soccer" to me and then throw a pie at a guy. Yeah, that's. You know what? I guess any water when you're in a desert,
Right.
But I'm glad we live in the modern age where we can have access to like actual comedy.
Yeah, like
this podcast, which is, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't think I'm putting on airs when I say we're pretty funny.
I think to modern ears we might be funnier than Laugh-In.
I think so. I think everyone would agree. I think every listener to this podcast will agree with that statement.
What else we got? Oh yeah, there's one more Broomhilda where she's asleep on a rock, and then a couple of artists who look like Clyde Crashcup and his assistant show up.
Oh my god, they totally do. I think, do they even talk like him? I'm not.
I don't remember. No, because both of them talk, and I forget the name of Clyde Crashcup's assistant, but he was silent.
Okay, I feel like Clyde Crashcup actually talks a little bit like Gaylord.
Like a little bit.
Now, they show up and they want to. They basically paint Broomhilda. They
paint Broomhilda because they've mistaken her for a fossil imprint in a rock that she's sleeping on.
Yeah, she has, and they paint her as modern art. This makes her mad. She doesn't like it because modern art.
But then it turns out the painting sold for $40,000.
Yes,
which that's pretty good. I mean, I could pay off my house.
I mean, in 1978, that's probably like big money.
That's probably closer to $100,000 now.
Yeah.
So,
I do like. Okay, like there's another great example of like a one-liner that is like written to be a one-liner in this. Where Broomhilda is yelling at these artists, and she's like, if you were painting with brains instead of paint, you wouldn't have anything to dip the brush in. And it's just like, I know what you're trying to say, but like, what the fuck? If you were painting with brains?
That's one where it really would have benefited from them staring at her blankly for a second, and she's like, well, they can't all be winners. I just woke up.
Yeah. I feel like that is a sort of thing that like, it's almost like Beetlejuice level, where you expect to
Yeah.
see something happen where them start painting with brains, except since painting with brains is not an actual idiom, Beetlejuice wouldn't do it because it's stupid, you know? Um, anyway, so yeah, these guys sell the painting, which then leads Broomhilda and her associates to decide, I guess, to do art. So they're all doing
Yeah.
art.
They decided
Um,
to have an art show as a get rich quick scheme, but it turns out that they all actually, gain a love of art unironically through this.
yeah, which actually is kind of nice. I think this would. I feel like this would be better if this was if the Broomhilda cast was a little more cohesive as a cast. I feel like
Yeah.
the problem with them is since they're written as just bouncing one-liners off each other all the time, they don't really feel like a group, you know.
Yeah. I
And
don't really have a good idea of what makes Irwin's personality all that different from Gaylord's.
yeah, like I feel like this would have worked better if we had the impression of Broomhilda is like the leader, and she's like, okay, we're all doing this thing. But instead, it kind of feels like they all three independently are just doing this thing next to each other.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they all do kind
This is
of.
what we call parallel play.
Yeah, yeah. And, this is a thing that, if you're autistic, maybe you really like this episode because it's like it speaks to you. But, as an holistic person, I'm like, I need these three to interact more. um, but yeah, it's the end message of the cartoon. I think is kind of is kind of nice. I think they could have made it pop a little
Yeah.
more though.
Yeah.
Um,
Just the basic idea that art for its own sake is worth pursuing.
yeah,
That art can make you happy just through through making it yourself. I really like how Gaylord, he makes this wrought iron sculpture, which I really was not expecting something that specific. It's a good
yeah,
example of Bill Watterson's rule of specificity is always funnier than generalities.
yeah,
So
yeah. Um,
he makes this really elaborate thing that kind of reminds me of how I always wanted a wrought iron papasan chair,
mm, mm.
and
Um,
and he ends up completely falling in love with it and having poured so much of himself into it that he refuses to sell it to anyone.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting how they each do a different kind of art because Irwin does paintings and Broomhilda is doing stone carving sculpture,
Yeah.
and Gaylord is kind of doing what would you call this kind of
Welding, wrought
welding?
iron. Yeah.
Kinetic art, maybe, I don't know. It's a form of sculpture, but he's like, yeah,
Yes.
welding stuff more. Yeah, and Broomhilda carves a giant cigar, um, and then does the line about how she wishes she could quit it. So
I wish I knew how to quit you.
it is funny that in 1978, like cartoon characters could smoke.
They could talk about smoking, but they had to say that it was bad too. Like,
Yeah, huh?
how they like, okay, the Schoolhouse Rock Naughty Number 9.
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the one with the pool table.
Oh, yes,
And
yes. Mhm.
yeah, and then you have, I guess, Naughty Number 9 himself personified as this fat pool shark cat who is puffing smoke everywhere as the song progresses. And ABC didn't like that. They were like, you can't have him smoke. But they're like, no, the smoking is important to show what a bad guy he is, how intimidating he is. I guess they got away with it.
Wow. I mean, bad guys could smoke for a while because, like, you see bad guys were always smoking cigars in cartoons
Yeah.
up until fairly recently, I guess, but
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. What was the most recent thing where you saw someone smoking a cigar?
um
Well, I guess the red guy tried to tempt Cow and Chicken to smoking a cigarette in the pilot.
oh, yeah, there you go. That counts. I
That was a mere 30 years ago.
was Pete still smoking cigars, by the time of DuckTales? Uh,
Oh, I don't know, but he did smoke a cigar in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I remember that.
So yeah.
Yes, yeah. And the Weasels actually smoked cigarettes in that one too. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, the Weasels had there was a smoker in Roger Rabbit. So yeah, that's
yep.
89 at least.
I mean, that
No.
makes sense. 89 is smack dab between Ghostbusters 1 and 2. So,
Yeah.
So, right when. So, I mean, now that, like, we've decided as a society that, like, we're all going to vape, does that mean cartoon characters are going to be allowed to do that soon or what? What's up? How are we feeling
I
on
don't
this?
know. I haven't seen any cartoon characters vaping except for those two, webcomic lesbians. I forget their names.
Oh, is it the ones who are, like, well, have the weird eyes, the wacky eyes? And
Yes, those are the ones. Yeah.
they live in the house where there's, like, lots of bugs and puddles of drool all over. And it's like,
Yeah, it looks like if Aileen Crumb Kaminsky could draw a lot better.
yeah, yeah, it's very got the big Kaz's Underground vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but I know the comic. It's about the wacky lesbians. There you go.
Yep.
I like how we're doing a comic podcast, and half this thing is just me going like, I don't know anything about comics. Well, I don't read them. I don't know what's happening. What's going on? What is reality?
You've been trying to estrange yourself from comics for so long, and now it's come back to bite you in the ass.
Oh, ironic. Yeah, I've been trying to get away from like wash the stink of comics off me and so I can be taken seriously as a legitimate author. Um, all right.
No, you can take the tiger out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the tiger.
That's right. Wow. Okay, so then I guess Irwin ends up selling a painting.
Wacky Lesbian Hour. That's what it's called.
Oh, is it really? That's literally what it's called?
Wacky Lesbian Hour. Yes.
Huh. Wow. I guess we weren't so far off, actually. Mm-hmm. Good for, you know what? Good for them. Good for them. It's a funny strip. It's got some good bits.
I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, it was one of the first things I subscribed to when I joined Blue Sky.
Yeah. It's not like some of those other comics these days that are just, the ones. Not good. Some of them are not good. So there's some bad web comics out there right now. I don't have anyone in mind or anything. I'm just being a jerk.
Anything like that is like, there are some good hamburgers, but some hamburgers are pretty bad. I think I know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I'll let you fill in the gaps, and then people sound off in the comments like, well, the comics that are pretty bad, and someone's gonna say something, I'll be like, oh, I wasn't talking about that one. That one's good actually. Wow, I can't believe. It's like back in the 90s when everyone was basically like, there's one good webcomic, except no one could agree on what it was. But just everyone.
In the 90s, one good webcomic? The only one I was reading at that time was Bob the Angry Flower.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not really a webcomic. It was just available on the web.
No. But yeah, that's true. But it was, honestly, the best of... Well, that was the best. All right. So, Irwin sells his painting, which turns out is not a painting because he was not selling the actual paintings he made. But apparently this was... He just used it to wipe his brush, and the streaks accidentally created a photorealistic landscape.
Yeah, that's a weird touch, actually. This is why Broomhilda is really the star of the Fabulous Funnies, because there is always an element of real surreality in these.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I remember if you read the Broomhilda comic strip, I do really appreciate the art in it because it always has that kind of Crazy Cat feel where there are lots of cliffs and trees growing out of the sides of buildings and all sorts of wacky things happening back there. So there is that kind of element, and I think they kind of captured that in this cartoon.
They didn't lose that. You can see a huge weird two connected cliffs by just a little scrap of dirt between them in the background and stuff.
Yeah. So Fabulous Funnies.
It all looks kind of like Wile E. Coyote, kind of like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, yeah. Like Fabulous Funnies is not good, but you can see hints of where it could have been better.
Yes.
I feel like if this was the Broomhilda show and we got rid of some of the the chaff, we
Yeah,
don't really
get rid of some
need
of the El Stinko.
yeah we don't really need alley oop. I think we can all
We didn't
agree on
need
it.
Alley Oop. We didn't need the Katzenjammer Kids. We didn't need Nancy and Sluggo. Well, the other ones, well, we didn't see, so we wouldn't know.
Yeah, so maybe Tumbleweeds would have been
Maybe
good.
we did need Tumbleweeds. Who
Maybe,
knows?
and Emmy Lou. We'll have to watch another episode to know about Emmy Lou. But the
Emmy
Fabulous
Lou.
Funnies. I feel like if I was alive in 1978, I would probably have watched this just because it was on TV.
Yeah,
um,
I would definitely have watched it, and I would probably just have had warmer feelings for it because that's how these things go. I would probably, there would probably be a certain nostalgic itch there for stuff like this that I would be scratching more effectively by watching these. But I don't know. It feels like they could have done a lot better. The Fabulous Funnies, I want to give it a You Tried award, or no, not a You Tried award. The sort of like, I wish you'd apply yourself kind of thing.
yeah,
It's just like, yeah, it feels like, when your teacher looks at you and looks at your parents and is like, he can do the work.
yeah.
That's how I feel.
It's like
It's like,
we're not mad,
you're
just
not
very
living up to
disappointed.
your expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a show that existed. Fabulous
Yep.
Funnies. Fabulous Funnies.
The existent funnies.
Yes. They are based on actual comics. You can give them that.
Yes.
Um,
And that's all it takes to get on our show, although frequently do things that aren't comics.
yeah.
So we try to keep it at least 2 comics to 1 not comic.
Yeah. We're back on our bullshit now. The
Yep.
Fabulous Funnies. It's
We're back on our bullshit.
it's thematic. All right. The
Thematically funny.
thematically funny. It's within our purview. It's the best you can say about the Fabulous Funnies.
This is certainly our wheelhouse.
Yes. Sluggo is lit. Okay. Oh, Olivia
Cut it right
James.
there. That's great.